Fade in, fade in, fade in, fade in, fade in.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Are you bummed that Luke didn't get sort of a reunion with Han Solo?
Absolutely. In fact, when I was reading it, I thought, if Leia's trying to mentally contact me and she's not successful, she'll rush to his aid. She'll get close to him and then get into some dire situation, and that's when I show up for a big yay! Save her life. Then we rush to Han and are in the same position that Rey and Finn and Chewie are. Too late to save him, but witnesses. And I say, because it would carry so much emotional resonance into the next film. For us, his wife, his best friend to witness, instead of two characters that have known him, what, 20 minutes?
Well, you're assuming that I train Rey.
Exactly. Sneaky.
Do I?
Sneaky.
I know I have to be really careful. People say, was it difficult to pick up and wield a lightsaber again? And I go, do I pick up?
Is it difficult acting in this movie? Am
Well,
I in this movie?
I can promise you my part is twice as big as it was in Force Awakens. When I read 8, I told Ryan, I fundamentally disagree with virtually everything you've decided about my character.
Who is this guy? How did the most optimistic, hopeful character in the galaxy turn into this hermit who says it's time for the Jedi to end? I read that and I said, what? I mean, that's not what a Jedi does. I mean, a Jedi is optimistic. A Jedi has tenacity. He never gives up. He doesn't secrete himself on an island. But you'll...
Something that George initially set out to do was a kind of 3-act saga with these 3 trilogies. And I think we felt that we should honor and respect that.
Liar! Liar! Liar!
I think that the thing that George never did was maintain the status quo. And I think that that's really important because...
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you! I've kind of lost control of Star Wars, so it's going off in a different path than what I intended. But the first 6 are very much mine and my philosophy. And I think that philosophy sort of goes beyond any particular time, because it's based on history, it's based on philosophy, it's based on a lot of things. And you know, the first 3 basically tell you how a democracy turns into a dictatorship, and you end up with a tyrant, the emperor. It's a very important now, where we are now in our political history.
And as always, may the Force be with you.
I'm kind of retarded.
Fade in.
What's up, all my Ewoks, droids, and Wookiees? It's Anna, also known as that Star Wars girl, and today, a very special guest that I would like to introduce to you all. You've probably seen her on like every other stream because she has become friends with everyone because she's awesome. And so she's got her own channel, Chrissy Mayer. She has a podcast that's on iTunes, Spotify, and her website. Also on her YouTube channel, but I would like to introduce you guys, if you do not know who I'm speaking about, the one and only Chrissy Mayer. Welcome, Chrissy.
Hi, Anna. Thanks for having me.
No problem. I tried to get all of your details right. I linked everything in the description.
I rewatched the original Star Wars trilogy because I was like, I want to be up to date. Like, I want to be like refreshed, renewed vigor. And then Anna's like, I'm just gonna talk to you about your channel. I was like, oh no.
We can talk about Star Wars too.
No, it's all good. I laughed so hard in that part during your intro when like the lady did this, and I was like, yes. Isn't that Star Trek? I guess is that not the point? Yeah.
No, that's real though. So they did. So Disney, after the shit show that was the sequel trilogy, they have like a new book series announced called The High Republic, and that was from the like launch party. And at the end, the hostess, the ginger lady, is like, "And may the force be with you." And that lady, Claudia Gray, was like, "Ding."
God, did anybody go, ugh?
Oh, everyone was like, "What the fuck? That's from Star Trek." But then you notice when she talks about all the characters that she created for this book series, which is supposed to take place before the prequels, and everything in it makes excuses for the sequel trilogy, so it doesn't make any sense. But all the characters that she invented are ripoffs of Star Trek characters.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So it's like, well, at least like I'm a big Star Trek fan too, on top of Star Wars. But so I'm like, there's stuff in Star Trek that they do a very good job of making make sense. And so it's like, okay, so she's taking Star Trek characters to fix things that were broken in Star Wars from Disney by blatantly ripping off Star Trek characters. So it makes no sense. But
Wow. It's like a mixing
yeah.
of worlds. Yeah.
So since you just watched the originals, which one was your favorite?
Oh my gosh. I really liked the first one, and I think I liked the middle one less than the
Empire?
first and the third.
Empire's like usually everyone's favorite.
Really? Oh man. It was just like interesting, and then like watching your intro, and I was like, oh yeah, like already in the first three, it's become so clear to me, like the character arc that like Luke is going through. It's like, oh my God, he just grew up into this like sophisticated, mature man, like before my eyes. Like, wow, he's like polished, and so yeah.
And then look what they did to him. Did you watch the Disney sequel trilogy?
Yes.
Don't do it.
Yeah. Don't do it. Yeah.
It'll crush your heart after watching that, because it's like, I wish that the people writing the movies would have at least done what you did and gone and watched them, but they didn't. Have you seen the prequels?
I've seen all of them. Like at this point, like I've seen them all. Like I'm gonna hold my thanks to my boyfriend. Like been with him like 6 years now. Like we watch all the ones as they come out, and then I've rewatched the three. So I'm like, oh wow, now I have like newfound respect, and it's just wild that Luke would ultimately like hide in a cave and just become a different person and be like, fuck it, I'm not gonna fight anymore. I don't know. I understand. I totally get why it's fueled like a generation of people that have YouTube channels that are breaking all this apart. I'm like, I get it now.
Oh no, is my signal bad? Everyone's saying I'm rocking the
mine?
potato cam. Your signal looks fine. Let me turn mine on and off for a minute. That usually helps. Am I blurry to you?
You're blurry to me, but maybe could it be my fault?
No, I don't think it's your fault. I think it's because me and boyfriend are both using the internet right now, which doesn't make any sense, because I pay for the highest of high-speed internets, and this always happens.
It's like the old days of dial-up when only
really
one
is.
person could use it.
Well, I could leave my avatar on, or you guys could look at Pixelated Anna.
Kidnapped cam quality. Somebody said in the chat. That's funny.
I know, right? I'm coming to you live from the freaking moon at this point. Actually, the moon would probably get better service than I do. But it is what it is. I get a better router. I bought the highest of high-tech routers when I moved in here, because they said that my router couldn't process the power of their brand new high-speed internet. So I was like, okay, give me everything I need. And then it comes out to this.
Like,
it never
I'm a
fails.
size queen. Give me what the biggest, the best.
Pixelated Anna. I'm sorry, guys. You'll just have to see me pixelated. But today's not about me. It's about Chrissy. So that works out that she's not pixelated.
Aw, you're back. You look good to me now. I mean, you always
Oh,
look good, but now you're just clearer.
Thank you. Yeah, I did my hair today. I was like, I gotta be on camera.
How long does that take? Your hair looks so good right now. It looks like a wig. Like that's how good it looks.
It's coming along. My hair, I always wanted it super long because my mom gave me Spock's haircut when I was a kid.
Oh no.
I'm not kidding. It looked terrible. But so I always wanted super long hair. So it got about to my waist. And then I got the great idea to get highlights. And she's like, oh, you haven't had your hair cut in years? Okay, well, we're going to have to cut off like 6 inches. I was like, ugh.
Oh no. When did that happen?
I want to say May maybe.
Okay.
So it's been growing back, but it's still it's too short for me. I'm very
Really?
sensitive about
How
the
do you
length.
like it covering your boobs length?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I want it to get down to my butt. Like that's how long I want
Ooh.
it, and then I'll keep it that long. Maybe longer, but I've never had it that long. So I was almost there, and then I wanted to dye my hair because it was just, I don't know.
Then
was
your
getting
Leia
turned-
transformation will be complete, you know, like that's what I was really
Mhm.
shocked to see. Like, I think it was the second movie when like Leia had her hair down for the first time. I was like, whoa, it's so long. Like, it's too long.
Mhm.
And then I was like, how come in none of these movies do we see her like doing her own hair? Because she all had very complicated hairstyles. She had like the two buns, and then she had the dual braided, like up and around headband thing. And I was like, all right, I'm just a chick. I'm just like, let's see her French braiding herself.
I know. I think that was because in the first one, it's like she came from the Galactic Senate, so she was all done up for that. And then in the next one, like, yeah, when she has the braids all around, I'm just like, she's the only girl in that ship. I don't think Han Solo or Chewie knows how to braid hair, but somehow it's all done.
Unless R2 would be like, and then like an arm, like the arms come out and it's like the braid-o-matic, you know?
She just had skills, I guess. I'm like, how is that not getting messed up? And then I liked her hair the best when they're in the Cloud City and it's like the bun with like the loopy braids.
Oh, that she looked like a Pokemon. Like, I forget which one, but it's got like,
yeah,
you
this
guys know in the chat what I'm
hairstyle
talking
on
about.
her. I like
Yes,
this
I remember that. Yeah.
That one looked good.
Looks like dog ears a little bit, but it's cute.
Kinda like the cute little lady dog ears.
Mm-hmm.
But so that, yeah, I always thought about that too. But at the same time, I was like, it's a fantasy kind of movie. So I'm like, I was more concerned with like, how are they showering? Because I'm like, she's stuck on a ship with Han Solo and Chewbacca. And I'm like, how the hell are you showering the Wookiee?
Yes, he must smell so bad. The only time I saw anybody eat was when she was like knocked off the speeder and she was like eating a cracker and then she had to like give one to the Ewok. That was so cute though. I was like, aw.
I love the Ewoks. A lot of people don't like them, but maybe I was just like a kid. So I was like, I like it because they're cute.
I like them. I mean, I was like, I liked the porgs. I like anything small. Like I would fall prey to the, you know, buying whatever comes in like stuffy form, like little stuffed animal. But like, yeah, and then I started making like Ewok sounds, and I was like trying to hook up with my boyfriend. I was like, "Ooga, ooga." He was like, "That's not helping. That's
that's
I'm
not
poking him with a
sorry,
stick."
babe.
Yeah, I'm like,
Well, see, I always wanted people laugh at me for this, but so I made the comment about how when Leia's like in the slave bikini and like how she's trying to warn Luke and Jabba like pulls her back into him. I was like, that actually looked really comfy because she kind of bounces. So I'm like,
yeah,
Jabba
he's like a
must
couch.
be super comfy. And so everyone's like, nobody thought about that but you. And I was like, couldn't you imagine like a big, gigantic, like bean bag or foam bag of Jabba the Hutt, like couch? I would love that. Maybe
Yeah. Oh, that's a thing that should have been made. And also I was surprised to see like at no point did anybody really react to how hot she looked. Like I wonder if that was something they grappled with, you know? Like everyone's got the hots for her and no one's like, "Holy, you're almost naked." Damn. Like,
I
you have
think
a good
Luke
body.
at that point was trying to be respectful. But my thing with that is like, Han was blind, so Han didn't even get to see anything. So I'm like, because you definitely would have been like, "Hey, princess, what's up? You should dress like this more often," kind of thing.
Yeah, he's blind. He's reaching out, and he's like, "Oh my god!" He's like feeling all the skin. He's like, has an erection.
Like, ooh,
he's
what's
like,
this? What are you wearing? Hello.
Like, oh, my dick is still stuck in carbonite. Sorry, it'll take a few.
You know, they never addressed that, but I think that is something that if I was a guy or dating, if I was Princess Leia, I'd be concerned about that. Because what if it like was broken for a long time?
Are you hibernating down there? Mm-hmm. That's what That's what I think about. I was thinking about, like not seeing them eat or shower, but again, like fantasy, right? Like, why would you ruin it with watching? Like, why does anyone need to see a wet Wookiee? You know.
See, me, I was more concerned like with Luke, because he is like in the swamp, and then Luke is always the one that's like, you know, getting filthy. And so
he's
like,
getting ringworm for sure. He had worms. You know what I mean? Like,
but I think it was more like if I was a chick stuck on a spaceship with Hansel, that's like my main concern is like, I need to make sure my hair is good. I need to make sure I smell nice and my teeth are brushed because it's like, you're stuck on a spaceship with Harrison Ford. That's something I would be concerned about.
I'm like, he's so hot. Like, if I were her, I would have done a really bad job. Like, I would have fallen for it halfway into the first movie. I'd be like, fuck, sorry, we gotta fuck. I'm sorry, I can't pretend anymore. Like, this is. I know I'm supposed to be professional, but it's literally you or my brother. Yeah.
It's all about the game with those two. But who is your favorite character on rewatching it?
Oh, okay. I liked Leia just for the reason I was like, oh, there we go. Like everyone's been saying all along, right? Like, she's a strong woman without announcing what a strong woman she is. And then I also liked seeing how many times, like, how Luke was constantly failing, like he was constantly fucking up, like every mission, everything had fuck ups to it, getting lost, getting hurt, multiple hopeless scenarios, which made him more likable to me. But like, favorite,
Gonna try to fix my camera while you answer.
okay, God, that's really hard. Favorite, I mean, I did really love that the little, oh wait, what are the little creatures again? The little bear creatures, the Ewoks. Like, I really loved, like, the Ewok had just met Leia and he had like half a cracker, but then the stormtrooper showed up and he was like, all right, I'm willing to stab this guy in the foot or like zap him for you. And I was like, that's so precious. Like, he trusts her, like they're on the same team already. I like all the little creatures.
You liked her. Let me get this down. All right. Well, does that work? Is it better? Am I pixelated? Do I still look like a potato?
You're a little pixelated. Oh, speaking of Ewoks.
Oh, you got one? Oh, the puppy.
Yes. Yours is a puppy. It's Waffles.
Oh, hi, Waffles. I have a little doggy named Tulip. She's inside, though. Oh, hi, Waffles. Oh, he's so cute.
She's so cute. She's a girl. She's 9 pounds. She's
hi, baby.
This is her second podcast. She's so cute though. She bites a lot. She like bites ankles and cords. Yeah. I know.
Hi, baby.
Oh, she's very bitey. All right, I'm gonna put her down now.
Look at her. That's so sweet.
I'm screwing him. The chat's loving Waffles. All right.
They love dogs. We are a dog-friendly channel here.
Oh my God.
Before I forget, Anna, go get Tulip. She's inside with Peaches. They're having fun. Okay, so I try every time somebody's new on the channel, I try to ask them a few, like, they're very generic questions. But okay, so what is your favorite number?
11. It is. I was born on November 11th, so it's pretty magical. Yeah, and I see them everywhere. So.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
And then, what is your favorite color?
Ooh, that's trickier because there's like, what's your favorite color to wear? Like, what looks good on me, which would be blues.
I think it's just like, what's your favorite color to see?
Oh, I'm liking. That's really tricky. I'm liking okay. I always like turquoise and then also purple. I guess which would explain like the super trashy phone protector that I have right now. So yeah, I think turquoise.
I asked that because my favorite color is yellow, and I have yet to meet a person whose favorite color is yellow.
Wow, yeah, that's rare.
So I keep like track of everyone that comes on. So right now, Team Red is winning. I'm just one little yellow fan over here, and you're the.
What was the weirdest favorite color that somebody had?
I mean, I don't know if it's weird, but I mean, it's orange is like not one that I think a lot of people have, but I've gotten like 5 oranges.
So, yeah, I know a guy with a favorite color that's orange. My friend Gino. I mean, orange is also the color of fast food and instant gratification. I think people who like orange are kind of like fly by the seat of their pants. I don't know. I'm just judging.
It's interesting. You know what's funny? Since I know you're kind of into astrology like me. Sagittarius is a few of the people that have liked orange. They're all Sagittarius.
Wow.
I
Wait, is he a
know.
Sagittarius? When's his birthday? I think it's December. Oh my God. Is Gino a Sagittarius? This is
Ooh.
wild. This is scientific at this point.
And then my last question is, like, what kind of lightsaber would you have? Would you have like a dual? Would you have two? Like, you know, the two like
Ooh.
Ahsoka? And if whatever type of lightsaber you pick, what color or colors would it be?
Ooh, okay. I think purple. I think I would do, yeah. Or like a magenta or a purple. I haven't seen it come in those colors yet. I mean, like, I
Well,
don't want to be
Mace
greedy
Windu has
and go
purple.
double-sided, but
Okay.
might be nice.
Okay, so you want to...
I think double-sided.
That's what I would have a yellow double-bladed lightsaber. Like,
Ooh.
that's what I would have.
I would also twirl it like a baton. I would be like,
There you go.
I would show off, and then I would probably cut my own arm off.
Hey, that's part of the fun of it. But I think part of having the dual bladed one is it's like if you're shorter, like I am, then it's like you got, I don't know, I feel like it would be more strategic. That's why I thought it was stupid in the new trilogy. I'm like, you have Rey who literally fights with a staff and you're not giving her a double bladed lightsaber. Like, how stupid can you guys be on top of everything else? I thought that they would at least get that right, but they're dumb.
What color did she
So-
have? There was like a white one. No, that was like the
Yellow.
villain. He had like a double, right? She had yellow, and then
Maul had a double-bladed red lightsaber. Ahsoka has the white lightsabers, and then Rey stole Luke and Leia's crystals, which were purple and green, and for whatever reason, that made a yellow lightsaber. It makes no sense because
and then there's the
lightsabers
black
are.
one. That villain from the
The dark
Mandalorian has
side.
the black one. Yeah.
So that is the only Mandalorian Jedi that was his lightsaber, and so it's a black crystal, so that makes it the dark saber. So it's all the Star Wars lore, but they don't get any of it right. So don't pay attention to that stuff. But it is what it is. But that's just something fun that I like to do. And so we have a few people that have picked double bladed. I think a lot of people like the 2. That's the one that I've only gotten one person that says that they want one. So,
Oh, I didn't know it was an option to have one in each hand.
yeah. You can. Do you want like a purple and a turquoise one?
That might be nice. I'll stick with the God, and that's the thing is like if you have a double-ended one, could one side be purple and one side be like teal or turquoise?
Mm-hmm.
And then when you do like this, you make like a rave, and I would have no fighting skills. I would just be like, "Ooh, it's a party."
It'd just be for aesthetics.
Yeah.
You could do that.
Okay.
Purple and turquoise. All right, there we go. Got those questions answered. Now let's talk about your podcast a little. How did that get started?
It got started January of 2020. I had been doing my other show on Compound Media. I started that June of 2019. So I had been doing
the wet spot, right?
Yes, yeah, that's the
So
fluffy sex
Why
dating
are we starting that?
relationship
Like,
show.
what is that?
That was my first podcast, really, and it's like an on-camera podcast show or podcast radio show, whatever you call it, and that's on Compound Media, which was started by Anthony Cumia, and he was part of Opie and Anthony, which was like a really big. They were like really big, like radio duo, like in the '90s and the early aughts. They were huge, like they were on Sirius XM. Like both of them became millionaires, like crushing it. Such a huge fan base. Like so many people I went to high school were just huge fans of them. And like I didn't really get into it later on until I got into stand-up. And then they broke apart and Anthony Cumia started Compound Media like 6 years ago, I think. And after my mom died, I just was like trying to throw myself more into comedy. I think I was really trying to like find what I wanted to do. So I started doing appearances on Compound Media on a show called In Hot Water, which is hosted by Gino Bisconti and Aaron Berg. They're both stand-ups, both so funny. And their show is like a wild, like it's a zoo, really. It's like anything goes. And I just started going on there and I was like keeping up with their sense of humor. They made me laugh. I had so much fun. I would do like little characters. And I just appreciated the freedom they gave me to do whatever I wanted. I was like, I want to be a character of a woman who lives in a clothing donation box. And they're like, great, sure, let's do it. Let's see it. I was like, wow. And it was easier to do that than be like, all right, I need to set up a whole channel and tape myself. I was like, okay, I could just go onto their show and do like a bit part for like 3 minutes or something.
Yeah.
And then I pitched my show because I noticed there wasn't any like female-led sex dating relationship show on the network because it's heavily, male subscriber base, understandably. And I was like, let me pitch this. Like, this could be fun. And I wanted it to be like old school Howard Stern, where like they'd have porn stars in and comedians. And I was like, yeah, we could answer like sex and dating questions and give advice and like dick around and have fun.
Okay.
But also,
so that's why it's called The Wet Spot?
Yes, yeah. And and at first I was like, I can't call it that. That's too dirty. And my boyfriend was like, no, that's perfect. You have to call it
It is
that.
perfect because I was like, I haven't watched it yet. So I was like, I'll ask Chrissy about it. And I was like, I wonder if it's going to be about sex or something like that, because that's immediately what I thought of. And then I think I had seen like you post a picture on Instagram and there was like porn stars there. So I'm like, I think it might be about that, but I could be totally wrong.
Yeah, and it's just like whenever whoever's in town and wants to plug their OnlyFans, will have them on. And so, just like everybody else, like not every porn star is like going to be such a blast and easy to talk to and fun and, sharp and witty. It's like fine because it's not really in their job description. But when you find ones that are, it's like, it's the jackpot, And then I have a girlfriend, Peyton Sinclair. She came on the show. We did like anal ring toss with her. Like she was down to do all sorts of crazy stuff.
Oh my.
And it's just fun. It makes her fun. She was just going fishing in like we blew up a little pool and like, yeah, we think of some fun stuff. We had like a dominatrix on. Kendra Sunderland was on the show, and she was famous for like masturbating in a college library. So it's fun. It's like, yeah, we have fun. We joke around, and people can call, and that's what's fun about doing it in studios. You can take live calls, and so it's like I don't really do the character, like dressing up, doing characters like on the Wet Spot because it's like a different vibe. But I will occasionally
hosting, right?
Yeah, and it was like that first show, Anna. Holy shit! Like the pilot episode, it was June. Yeah, it was June of 2019. It felt like jumping off a cliff, like this, and I've done stand up. I've done stand up for like an hour. You can headline, but there's nothing like, okay, you are hosting your own like podcast, radio show, whatever. And like, even though you have guests, it's like, you have to be prepared to keep it going. If something sucks, and it was like just the biggest high. Like it really felt like jumping off a cliff. I was like,
like a good kind of jump.
Yeah. In a good way.
Like you got a parachute, you got bungee cords.
Yeah, it was just like, I guess I'm just going to talk about myself and get really personal if I run out of things to talk about. I guess you guys are going to learn a lot. And then I started my own podcast in January of 2020. And I went to the AVNs in Vegas because I was like, okay, I already have like some connections with these porn star girls. I went and got a media pass and I was like, I'm going to interview people. I brought like my whole setup and they were nice enough to let me like in the media room, and I'd have the girls would only do like 15-20 minute interview segments, so I wasn't able to do like full interviews, but I was like, it was really great practice. And what I think I had the advantage because I'm not a guy and I'm not like super, I don't really watch a lot of porn, so it's like I was able to just talk to these people, like I wasn't fangirling out or fanboying out, where so many of these men who go to the AVN, the X-Biz,
like, oh
Exotica,
God, I love you. And it's like,
they're like shaking. They like can't complete a sentence. Many of them are autistic. It's all good. Like it's just they're a little. Sometimes you'll get like guys that are delusional and think like, I have a relationship with this person just because like they are a fan and this person was nice to them once. It's just like, it's all part of like, I guess, being famous for them. But I had none of that. I was like, who are you? I was like, okay, yeah, sure. There was one guy where
you're
like
famous. Let me interview you.
I was like, let's talk about this. Like I wasn't starstruck, I guess. This one guy interviewed Seth Gamble. That was like the first, I think, male porn star he interviewed, and I was a little bit like, ooh, he has a six pack. I think I'm like, I wonder what's under this shirt. Like I was a little bit like,
was he super hot?
Trying to. Not even that he was super hot, but it's just like this guy like fucks for a living. Like, I was like, I wonder how good he is, you know, like just sort of being curious, like, I wonder what his moves are, you know, and then you're like, all right, is it all kind of just for show and mostly performative? You wonder like if the job ruins it for them. And these are like the kind of questions I would ask and how to deal with all of it. So it was great. It was, I learned a lot in those first few interviews.
Real life questions.
And just like every other comedian, I was like, I'm going to do a once a week podcast, and that'll be a way for me to, you know, access fans or get a following that's outside of Compound Media, because that's, even though they have a great following, it's finite. So it's not like it's not public. It's whoever subscribes to Compound is who will see you. And even at that point, maybe not everyone who subscribes will watch your show. So, which I was finding like, okay, if someone is more far right or more like conservative, they're probably not going to want to watch a show with porn stars. So I was like, all right, let me start
sometimes it's the people that are that way are the ones that watch the hardcore porn.
Oh, true. And then they totally
it's always
deny
the quiet ones.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to start another thing that's outside of this and try to just grow myself more. And it was going to be a once a week podcast, and that was it. And then the pandemic happened in March, and I kind of like didn't do much of anything from March and April. I think I was still probably doing once a week. And then in May, I decided like, you know what, like I really want to step this up. And I committed to 4 days a week. And it was through talking to my boyfriend too. Like he was like, nobody is like you, like has the opinions you have and is doing a podcast more than 1 day a week. And he kind of like helped encourage me and gave me like the strength to be like, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to like make this jump. I'm going to do 4 times a week. Like, I think I can keep it up. And like, it's been amazing that I've been able to, and now I don't want to stop because I don't want to like seem like a quitter to myself. Like I've, you know, made this commitment and I don't want to not rise to the occasion. So it's been 4 times a week since May of 2020. And it's I have like, I mean, like not a shit ton of subscribers. Like I think I'm almost at 30. I'm almost at 30K. So
I feel like I actually get notifications for your channel and it's like, geez, she's doing another video. Like, oh my gosh, you do so much.
Too much, right? It's too much. Yeah. And well, now and I always do a lot before I go away. Like I'll try to do a lot of pre-tapes. Like I'm going to Vegas this weekend to do shows with the other comedians from Compound Media. We're going to be at the Plaza this Friday and Saturday. Yeah. 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday. And it's called the Comedy Works. I think there are still tickets available. And then, so that's why I'm trying to do all these, like do a lot more pre-tapes. And then I'm going straight to Dallas on Monday. Then I'm flying to Dallas on Monday, and I'll be there for the whole week. And then I'm doing 4 shows at Hyenas in Dallas, the 17th and 18th. So I'm going to try to tape more episodes, I guess. And I always bring like a podcasting setup whenever I'm on the road for comedy, because it's like, you never know when it's something cool is happening, or you want to go live, or you want
to stand-ups.
I do. Like I always record, like I always do a voice memo record the audio. At least at minimum, I have to do that, because it's like you have to be like listening back. I don't always do it, but you like really should be listening back to seeing like what's hitting and what's not. But ideally, I should be video recording myself every time, because that's good for 2 reasons. Like one, makes you less, for when you need a tape for something, you're less nervous. Oh God, well now I'm recording myself. Don't fuck up now. It gets you less nervous about the camera. And then number 2, if you have like a funny moment with the crowd or a new joke hits, like, okay, I can clip that and throw that on social media. Do I always remember to do that? No, but yeah, that's a good practice.
Well, it's kind of like when you watch, like I was just watching, oh my God, why am I blanking on his name? Dave Chappelle. Oh my gosh. And his stand-up. And so having like a master clip of like all of your shows and like,
like a reel or something. Yeah.
I mean, you could even put that up on your channel, or heck, if you need content for when you're gone, just set up your phone on a tripod and have, I don't know, somebody there go live and just do a live recording of it.
I'm
so
scared
it's like,
to do that, because I haven't put out a stand-up album yet. So I'm not that it's a fear, but I want to do an album, and then I can be like, okay, this chunk of material, I've polished it down. I've recorded it in like an ideal scenario, which would be like a packed house for a recording. And I've put it out there, and I have like whoever who's doing my album, like, okay, a legit place is producing it, you know, good photo to go with it or whatever. It's like, okay, it's packaged. I'd
Mhm.
rather do that than, okay, this era is done, on to the next, you know? And until I do that, I'm not going to feel good about just like, I could totally be live streaming my stand-up, but like, you know, I want what's on the internet to be like the best possible version of that material.
Gotcha.
So, but people ask that all the time, like, oh, why aren't you like live streaming more of your stand-up? Why aren't there more? And I should be putting more clips out there. So, yeah, I just need to do it. I just need to like, and that's what's great about recording your sets, because if you put out clips of your crowd work, you're not blowing your material. You'd be like, this is a 1 in a million interaction that's happening here. You know, oh, this guy who he's talking about his penis in the front row. All right, this is like, I can put this out there because this is like never going to happen again. This is not a joke I do all the time. So I sometimes have more fun just interacting with the audience and doing crowd work than doing my like material that I've had for years.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you get like nervous when you're on stage in front of like a lot of people?
Yeah, I always feel something. I always feel something. Like it's if it's a huge show, like I was featuring opening, whatever, same shit, I guess, for Doug Stanhope this past weekend at Foxwoods, and that was like maybe a 1,400 seat theater. And I was like, whoa, because I definitely was feeling, but I didn't feel nervous because I knew, okay, I'm just opening for him. I'm just doing like 20 something minutes and bringing him up. And I know a lot of that's going to be just crowd work and loosening them up. And so it's like less pressure because it's less time, but it's also like, oh, I'm opening for this guy that I really look up to, who's like a comedy legend. So
it's like, don't fuck it up.
Yeah, and the times that I do feel nervous, it's just like you have to tell yourself, like, no, I'm excited. And I guess it's ultimately good, because if I wasn't feeling anything before I went on stage, it's like, all right, I shouldn't be doing this. Like, you should be doing the things that make you feel alive, and like really it forces you into the present moment. And that's why I always like, if I do feel nervous before a show, I always will listen to like the host or the feature. I'll listen to the people that are on stage before me, because it's you can see like, okay, what is the crowd laughing at? Do they sway one way politically? A sense of their age, a sense of their like marital status, you know, like, are they okay with dirty stuff? Are they not?
Yeah.
And then I will make slight tweaks to my set kind of accordingly. Yeah. It's fun. But yeah, am I always nervous? A little bit. There's always something going on there. You're always like, and then, you know, you get your first laugh and a lot of that goes away. And then it's just like, okay, these are your friends. Like, just talk to them. Just charm these people, you know?
Guys, I know I need a better camera. I'm trying to fix it, but
come on, guys, give her a break.
I know, I tried. I think I kind of fixed it. It was good for a minute and then it went back. But I can, as long as you guys can hear and see Chrissy, that's all that matters. You see, I'm not afraid of public speaking. I actually prefer to do public speaking or giving speeches, I'm terrified of just talking to someone one-on-one, because it's like you're making eye contact. They're right there. Whereas being on stage makes it like, I don't know, it detaches you from that personal aspect, even though you could be telling like your most embarrassing life story, but because it's like a big group, I don't know, something for me, it connects well. But so I wish I was funny, and I strive to be sometimes, but I'm not. So I couldn't imagine getting up on stage and trying to like tell jokes and make people laugh.
Oh, it's like, it's fun. I mean, like, you always have to be taking some kind of a risk. And like, even when you say like, oh, I don't think I'm funny, like there's people, you know, we've all laughed at people who like haven't been comedians, right? And that's always in moments when they are being either like very honest or like playing with stereotypes or being a little racist or whatever. Like, that funny moments can happen, like can come out of not necessarily a funny person. And I think the degree to which you can be honest and present is like you'll be closer to being funny, I think, because a lot of times I'll get laughs on things I don't intend to be jokes. They'll just be observations. So it's interesting. Yeah.
Has there ever been one time where you're like, fuck, there's no way I can make like this joke funny because it's so mean, and then you say it and like everyone just busts up laughing?
Yeah, that's one of the best feelings in the world when you're like, it's a risk, who knows, like this could bomb, and then like that split second where you're like, well, who knows.
Have you ever had like a complete bomb? Like when you just go and it like nothing hits?
I know when I was newer, I must have bombed. But now, and like from my memory, like I guess I'm so seasoned that like a joke will bomb or a tag will bomb, and I'll be like, all right, time to pick it back up. Like go to what you know works. I don't really, I'm not bombing whole sets. Probably, I'm sure I was in the very beginning when I was brand new.
Yeah, I guess it just comes with like time.
Yeah, it really does. It's just like anything else that you've practiced for. I mean, I've been doing stand up like 11 years now, and then I did improv 5 years before that. So, like, yeah, always comedy in some form in a public speaking type of way consistently since like really like 2005, 2006. So it just feels like part of who I am. And you're always learning. You're always discovering new things about yourself as a person and then as a performer. You know, because if you get crusty and you get out of touch with reality, like the audience will let you know right away.
Yeah,
you know, we all know comics who get on stage and like, oh my God, he's still doing this set, like he's still doing his jokes from the 90s, or like, oh God, he didn't mention the pandemic at all. Like, okay. So the audience will let you know when you're kind of out of touch or losing it.
I think I saw you like say something. So some guy on Twitter, I guess that's a comedian as well. He was like giving you shit. And I looked at him. I'm like, dude, you get like no likes on any of your tweets. Your jokes are like super dated. Like, come on, you're giving Chrissy shit.
Was he a comic?
Yeah. He was saying something. It was, I don't know, like maybe a month, maybe 3 weeks or a month ago. Somebody was mad at you about something. I don't know, but I saw like one guy
every couple months. Yeah, I do have a lot of people coming after me for shit, and I'm glad that it doesn't faze me as much anymore.
Yeah, the first couple times you get people coming at you on Twitter, it's like, oh my God, like I'm being completely reasonable. Why are you losing your mind? And now it's like, oh, you're just insane. That's what it is. You're just insane and doing it for attention. And I think your comeback to him was like, oh, the only time you get like anything is when you're like shitting on me or something.
Oh,
it was
okay,
a funny comeback, but that made me think of it like a comedian that like just they don't have anything left, so they just gotta shit on you because they're so woke that they can't even make funny jokes anymore.
Think about the reasons why people pursue stand-up comedy. Like you have to be a little off. Like you have to like because it's not easy or glamorous and there's no guaranteed path to success. It's not like I'm going to become a doctor or a nurse or an engineer or a teacher where you're like, if you complete this, you will get there. Like you'll do it. There's no path like that for, I don't know, for most of the arts. I think you bang around and figure it out. So a lot of comics who maybe they're a little bit older, you know, maybe they're in their 50s now, you know, I think there is a generation of comics that are really caught between like the younger comics and like I'm lucky, maybe I'm probably on like the tail end of that. Like I'm young enough to like understand social media, but old enough to like have grown up without a cell phone, you know?
Yeah.
Have like been in the dirt as a youth. So I think the comics that are older than me, they kind of missed the boat on you know, you can just make it in the 90s or whatever. You just need talent and you'll be lifted into stardom. You'll get on a sitcom, you'll be taken care of, right? Like, but they don't now to sort of make it in comedy. There's so much going on. You have to be really good at social media or hire people who are. You have to be like very entrepreneurial. You can't just be a good stand-up. You have to have something else going on. Oh, my nails match too. That's great. You have to.
Mine are
it's
boring.
Like, it's like a comedian and a podcast. Or what's the edge? Like, what's the twist? Like, okay, you're funny, but you're really into old cars. Or you're funny and you can cook. You know, it's like being funny is great, but what's the audience that you're going to attract to you? And you know, what is the point? And that's how you help find like your fans and your audience. And I got really lucky. I think I started to really find my audience when I became very passionate about free speech and like sort of
Oh yeah.
like not to go into politics too much, but I was like, oh, I found something I was passionate about.
Mhm.
And the people that were there were also the people that were going to laugh at me. So it's figuring out like where your feelings are and just who likes me, who thinks I'm funny. Okay, how can I find more of those people so we both can be happy?
Yeah. I feel like
But a
the
lot of
most-
these comics that are stuck in between these generations, like maybe they're older and they're insecure about their social media skills or their following or whatever, and they're like, fuck, I didn't make it, I probably should have, or whatever. They
Mhm.
get really caught up on like what they think is talent, like, oh, they're not funny. Guess what? It's not about just funny anymore. Like, it's about your look, it's about your, again, how good of an entrepreneur you are, it's about your social media, it's about like so many things now. It's not just talent. So a lot of these older comics will get really hung up like, oh, well, you're not funny, you're not in XYZ club. And it's like, oh, but I toured all over the country. So it's like people get upset and a lot of people are jealous and insecure, and I'm insecure about shit too. But
yeah, jealousy is the green-eyed monster.
Mhm.
And it's like if you would focus that energy instead of on your jealousy on yourself, you would be 10 steps ahead of where you initially wanted to be of the person that you're basically jealous of. I see that honestly all the time on YouTube too. It's like people that will just complain, and it's like, well, the reason why I'm here is because I don't sleep and I do X, Y, and Z. And yes, I might not be the best YouTuber in the world, but I'm doing the work, which results in results, right? And whereas other people, if you just spend all that time complaining, well, then you don't get the things because you got to work for it. It's just like you. I feel like are you ever home? I feel like you're always posting, I'm in this city, I'm in this city, I'm in this city.
I'm home. It's crazy. I'm home more now. Like from obviously everyone was home during the old pandemic, but since things have like let up more, like I really am home more now. I think I'm working like smarter, not necessarily harder. Like it used to be, I'd be in the city every single night, doing spots like most nights a week, maybe 3, 4, sometimes 5 nights a week. You're just running around like, being seen. If you didn't have a spot at a club, you would be trying to show face at other clubs to get in, to do other shows. So much of it, I think I wasted a lot of time doing what I thought was networking that didn't necessarily like pan out. And it's like, man, it's like the pandemic helped me hone in kind of like on the internet. It's like, and then I found so many of my fans and I guess followers just from focusing on like podcasting. And for me, it was like podcasting was the what else. It was like, you're funny, but okay, what are you going to do with it?
Well, how did you get into like interviewing? Because when I got like the email from your producer, I was like, an interview? I was like, isn't she like a comedian? Is this going to be like a funny, like she's making me laugh stream, or am I going to have to be funny?
Oh yeah, it's funny.
So when I saw interview, I was like, okay, so I don't have to worry about trying to be funny.
Yeah, most comedian podcasts, like I did so many other comedians podcasts before I started my own, and I so many times was like, I'm not gonna do it because there's already so many podcasts out there. Every comedian has a podcast. Like, I'm not that special. Why does the world need another podcast? Like, convinced myself out of it many times. But I did have a lot of experience going on other comics podcasts, and it really just feels like a conversation, and you're just funny and riffing off each other and trying to make each other laugh. And they're conversations, right? So I kind of brought that to my style as well. Like, to me, like, yeah, the idea of an interview is like, it's a little like cold and kind of one-sided. I'd rather dig into a person and be like, okay, what's interesting about what they're doing? Like, why do I want to talk to them? What do I feel like the world needs to hear from this person? What can I engage with them on? What do I want to ask them questions about? What do I want to make them think about? Not just like, which keeps it fun for me. And it also, I think, keeps it fun for the other person because there's only so many times you can answer like the basic questions. Not that I dislike, going on podcasts. And I love it's always good to tell your origin story, like how you got into comedy, because every time I tell that story, I learn more about myself and like more nuggets come out. More nuggets come out. That sounds almost gross, but like, it reminds me why I like got into this and like why it's important. I'm rambling. I don't know.
Oh no, you're fine. No, because I don't know if you ever watched this show, but so I was never interested in acting because that's just something that I don't know. I was like, that's kind of boring. But I loved the show Inside the Actor Studio, and like James Lipton was one of my heroes because just the amount of work that he like would put into finding out about the person he was interested in. Like if he had, for Alec Baldwin, for example, he would watch. Well, he did this for everyone, but every single scrap of material, like even home videos, if he could get his hands on it before he interviews this person. So he spends 2 months researching them. And then he has like the most in-depth questions to ask them. And it's always funny when you're watching it to have them ask them a question. They're like, how the hell did you know that kind of thing? And so I tried doing like an interview type show called Force Talks. And I don't know, I really would get into it, but then I felt like, I just felt like it didn't have that catchy thing, and I was like, I can't be trying to emulate one of my heroes because I'm so different from him, so I have to do my own kind of thing on it. So I've been trying to figure that out, but and also I don't think I'm that like I don't know how to say it. I wouldn't say that it's not that I'm not nice, but it's like I feel like people have told me when I'm asking people questions, I guess I just have resting bitch face, and they're like, Anna, you look so bored. I'm like, I'm not.
You're just listening. Oh, people have told me that too. Yeah. I'll see in the comments, Christy's not interested. I'm like, no, I'm just listening. And I'm really trying to be present and not just think about like, what am I going to say? Well, the answer to that question, Anna, is always like, what is the most fun for you to do? Like, what do you enjoy? What makes you come alive? And for me, like in a podcasting sense, like it is feeling, I guess, I want to connect with the person I'm talking to. I want to not help them be vulnerable, but maybe get something out of them they didn't realize they felt, or explore something that they maybe haven't thought about too much. Like I like to hear for something it sounds like the person wants to talk about, and then kind of like lean into that, Yeah. It's helped me to be like a really careful listener.
One of the things it really does stand to be true about how every single person out there knows something that you don't. And so like I like listening to your show after we met and everything. If I see you're on, I'll click on it. And one of the ones, I was driving and I was listening to you talk to one of the porn stars, and she's talking about something, and I'm like, I have no idea. It was the girl that worked at Starbucks.
Oh, Elsa Jean.
Yes.
Elsa Jean. Yeah.
Well, so you asked her, was like, oh, what would she want to do? And I'm just like, I don't really watch porn that often unless I need to like learn how to do something. And when she's like, oh, I want to do this. And then I was like, what the hell is that? And I Googled it and I was like, ah! Because I didn't know what it was. I was like, oh, I feel like such a boomer.
What was it?
It was 2 letters. It was DP.
A double penetration?
Yeah, I didn't know what DP stood for. So I Googled it.
Director of photography? Yeah.
Well, I said urban. I was like, I'm going to Urban Dictionary it while driving. And I was like, ah! So I was like, oh, you learn something new every day. So, there's that for you. So have you gotten like any material from doing like for stand-up from the people that you've met and like interviewed on your podcast?
Oh, yes, I actually have. I did one. That's weird. I thought I was going to say no to that, but the answer is yes. I did I think it was a Swapcast or something where I had a bunch of girls on who were comics or still are comics and then joined OnlyFans because they lost whatever their day jobs were. They were just like, I want to make money. And so because of the story that one of the girls on that podcast was talking about, like I now have a joke about, this girl that I know, and like, guess how she's selling pictures of her butthole. Like I ask around the crowd, guess how much it sold for? And then I'm like, it sold for $1,000. And then I usually point to a couple, like an older couple. I'll be like, how much do you think like your wife's butthole is worth? Like joking around. I'm like, I think I have a $20 butthole. Like I think my best butthole days are behind me. Like I'll just like, pretend I'm setting up a camera. Like I didn't need to go to college. Like I wish I could go back in time. I could just tell my parents, like, get me a camera phone and a tripod and boop. And then I could just take pictures of my butthole. Be like, oh, I got to do it again. I blinked. You know what I mean? Like, and rent is paid.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I think these conversations do kind of like knock around my head a little bit. And if they become jokes, great. If not, it's just like, oh wow, something. It's like I always have so many of the more you know moments. Like when I would talk to like male porn stars, and they would talk about like some of them. It's not a glamorous life for them either. They're often having sex in front of probably like 10 other dudes, like the whole crew. They're all dudes, you know.
Yeah.
Like not only do you have to perform, like, you know, so many guys think, oh, this is just a hot chick. What could be so hard about like banging this hot chick? It's like, no,
Well,
it's like
doing
it's
it in
this
front
hot
of a
chick,
room
and
full of
then
people.
yeah, and then 10 dudes in sweatpants. So you know, and so they're telling me stories of like, oh, I know this older guy, not even older, but been doing it a couple years. He's got to shoot Viagra into his dick to just work. And I'm like, that is a hard life. No pun intended. Well, hopefully it's hard, but you know.
Is there like porn out there where it's like the guys aren't hard and that's part of? I'm probably
Like a soft porn. We call it soft core, I think. No.
Oh gosh. Well, no, so I remember I went to college in San Francisco, and there was a porn studio there that did like crazy stuff like tranny porn or like hardcore BDSM. And one of my friends was like, oh yeah, I got a job. And I was like, oh cool, where'd you get a job? And he's like, do you guys want to watch my reel? And we're like, when did you become an acting major? It was a preview for his porn, and he was getting fucked in the ass by a tranny person. And I was like, I don't need to see this.
That is fun. Wow.
But he just wanted to talk to us about his little experiences. And I'm like, aren't you going to have kids someday? Like, they're going to see that you get fucked in the ass. And he's like, don't worry, I have a stage name. And I'm like, you're pretty recognizable, dude. Like, that's not going to make any difference. I should get you in touch with him. You can ask him questions about that. That shit was crazy.
Wow.
I was like, shit that you never want to see. It was just right up in our faces. Because he wanted to show all of us. There was like 20 people. And we're like, oh, well, let's watch this reel. Oh, it's porn. Ah!
Yeah, you would think like it would be better if you're getting into porn to be someone who doesn't want kids. But I have met and talked to so many porn stars that do have kids. And it's interesting to hear like how they navigate those discussions. And their kids all seem like pretty like mature and understanding of it. At the same time, I don't think that any of these porn star girls have like exposed their kids too early to like sex and sexuality, which I think is pretty important. Yeah, they sound like they've handled it all like pretty responsibly.
Yeah, I think it's also, you don't really have to worry about your kids stumbling onto your porn. It's when they get older, like teenage is when you probably have to worry about it. And especially if you have like, well, obviously girls are going to have like friends that are boys and stuff, but it's like if you're dropping your kid off at school and like the other boys are like, oh, I know your mom. Like that's got to be the awkward part.
Yeah, I just talked to this girl. I had her on my show. Her name's Allie Ray. She kind of went viral recently because she was a NICU nurse who started an OnlyFans and then was like outed by like, I guess, other nurses on her squad or whatever. And ultimately kind of got her fired. They were like, they got this ultimatum. Yeah, they based some girl like on her nursing squad or whatever signed up for first. They tried to fire her because of her Instagram. And they didn't really have a case for that because she was like, I'm not using my real name. I'm not mentioning this hospital. Yeah. And she started an OnlyFans, started making a fuck ton of money. Like I think this girl made over $1 million in a year, less than a year. I know. She's like, and nurses make a lot of money from what I understand from my friends. So she started an OnlyFans, and then I'm like, this sounds like some just bitchy, jealous girl that you work with. She seems fat. I think that's what's going on. And she's just jealous of you because she's very hot. And she started this OnlyFans. She also got married to her husband at 18, had 3 kids. And now she's like my age. She's 37, looks so smoking hot. And she's like, yeah, I'm doing this OnlyFans, like keep things interesting. It's fun. My husband is like in on it also. But this nurse like kind of outed her. And then they basically said, you have to either delete your OnlyFans or leave this job. And she kind of had like no choice but to leave her job because people were already talking shit about her.
Illegal.
I know. It's wild. I felt bad. But again, she's
really
like.
No one's. I would have to look at her contract, but that doesn't seem like it would be legal for them to tell her that type of ultimatum. But I think you're right. It's probably just like a bitchy nurse coworker that got jealous.
Yeah, it's somebody who's jealous, because if it's a dude, they're gonna be like, great, like I will enjoy this when I get home later. And if it's like someone who's happy with themselves, they'd be like, oh great, you're hot, do your thing, girl. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. I've had like coworkers that were like that. I remember this one chick, so I had to transfer jobs when I moved down to Southern California because I was living in San Francisco. And the one chick that was like, we had the same job until I transferred down. I had to take kind of like it wasn't a pay cut because I was still making the same, but I had to take like a job title cut. So I got like kind of demoted. Well, I had a better job, but it was just like my title changed. And so the chick that had my title, I found out later because I thought she was older than me. She was actually a few years younger than me. And she was just the biggest fucking cunt on the face of the planet. And I don't know why she hated me so much. Like, she had it out for me. And I was like, oh my God. And then I learned after, I was like, okay, she's younger than me. She's mad because I had her position and I was better than her at it. And so she doesn't like hearing about that. So finally, when I switched and I was like, I'm only doing freelance work, I'm like, I'm never dealing with this kind of cunt again. So sounds like that nurse chick. I mean, if she's making $1 million on OnlyFans, I mean, just keep doing that as long as you're hot and invest it well. And I'm assuming she's married, so her husband.
That's why I brought it up, because she had kids that were like, I think 12, 17, and 18. So she was telling me how she had to, and they're all boys. Oh. And I was like, I feel like your son's friends are gonna masturbate to you. Like, I don't know, because
well, to be fair, they're gonna do it anyway. Now they just have pictures of it. You know?
She said that she and her husband have to be very on top of like constantly blocking all their friends from all their social media. And I'm like, you're not gonna be able to get them all. Like
yeah, they're gonna be able to make it all. Here's my thing. If somebody really wants to do something, they're going to find a way to do it. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like what we were talking about off air. It's like, well, if somebody really wants cocaine, they're going to find a way to get cocaine. Doesn't matter if it's legal or not. If somebody wants to make an alt account and then go follow so-and-so's mom, they're going to figure out how. I mean, as long as she gets paid for it and her and husband know how to invest the money, I mean, fuck it. Now she doesn't have to deal with jealous cunts, so good for her.
Yeah. I know. I feel that way too. I'm like, I hope these girls are saving their money.
I know. I was watching, you know, the guy who's like is he a psychologist or psychiatrist? He's black. He's really handsome, wears the suit, his big YouTube channel. And he was talking
is his name Kevin something?
I think so. I'm blanking on his name. The chat might know.
He does like dating advice for women, kind of.
Yes. And he was
mostly for black women. Yeah.
And he was interviewing the OnlyFans chick when they found out that OnlyFans is going to cut the what is it called? The porn, basically.
The banking or something like the
Yeah, and he's like, "Well, what are you going to do?" And Kevin Samuels, yes,
yeah.
And he was talking to these girls and they're like, "No, I'm just going to keep doing that." And OnlyFans hasn't been around long enough. And he's like, "Yes, I know. That's exactly what I just said." I was like, "Ooh." The brain cells on some of these people, but if they're smart enough, they'll be able to really make money off of this. That's why it's like, I mean, if you're smart enough to be making $1 million when you're 18, like a month, like some of the like Twitch chicks, they make so much money. And it's like, yeah, you're not gonna be able to do this for your whole life. I mean, maybe you are, maybe your genetics are just that great, or you can get plastic surgery and just, you know, look great. But as long as you invest the money correctly, you will be set for life and you can retire by the time you're 30 and just go live your best freaking life, right?
It's crazy to me. Yeah, like this girl I was talking to, I read in this article, I think it was on the Daily Beast, like the viral article that she did. It said that she made like 65 to 70K a month. I'm like, what the fuck?
I know.
I'm like, oh God, I'd be happy to make that in a year, I think. Oh my God, like what? That's so much money.
I know. Sometimes because people have told me, Anna, you should get an OnlyFans. I'm like, no, I can't do that. They're like, just post pictures of your feet. And I'm like, not even that. That's too weird for me, you know? I'd rather post paintings and stuff. But
I kind of do want to see what your feet look like now, to be honest.
Oh, I have freaky feet. So my toes are like freakishly long. And then I can kind of maneuver. It's like, they're just freakishly long.
Woo!
But then these...
Okay, you have a sweet petty going.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I always make sure that they're good. But no, so my let me get my flip flop off. Oh my god, if I can bend. So these two toes are freakishly long, but they're
Oh my god,
they
it's
were
foot
webbed.
chat.
They were webbed, so you guys can kind of see. My mom had them. Oh my gosh, your toes are long too.
No, I
But
mean they're
so-
like, I don't know, they match. Sort of.
Oh yeah,
You
yours
can-
are like your toes are like AT&T. My see, look at how much longer.
What? Okay, a little bit. Yeah.
See,
They're like hands. I'm kidding.
these toes are like fingers, but see, they were
We should be
webbed.
charging so much more for this stream. Oh, they are a little webbed. That's cute.
On both feet. My mom had them sliced when I was a baby because they were completely webbed on
What?
both of my feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know people are freaked out. Or
You
not.
should have kept it webbed, and then you would have crushed it as a swimmer.
I am actually a really good swimmer because I have freakishly long arms, and so like most people, I learned this when I was in college because I was taking like advanced, anatomy, and so most people their elbows hit their waist, right? Like so, if you just put your arms
Oh,
straight
yeah.
down, right in between your hips and your rib cage, your waist, that's where they hit. So my elbows are all the way down to my hip bones.
No.
So I have freakishly long arms.
Wow. That's pretty
So
cool. Someone in
I
the chat
swim
thinks you're
very
Greek just based on your feet.
Oh, I am not Greek. I am Portuguese, hence the flag. I'm Portuguese
Oh.
and Scandinavian, so the best sailors, which hence the swimming comes in hand. But so because I have freakishly long arms, I can swim very quickly, and I'm also terrified of sharks. So the second I get in water, I'm like, ah! Swimming. For
I was
my
on
life.
the
But
Jersey
whatever.
Shore in July, and there was a legit shark. Like, we saw a couple, I think.
Ah.
It's pretty cool. And then I watched Jaws.
Ah, I'm terrified of sharks. Like that is my biggest fear. I can't even go in a swimming pool by myself because I'm afraid that there's like an invisible shark.
I was like, okay, I have to stop wearing this otter bathing suit because I'm gonna,
You're gonna attract a shark as long as
I'm
it's
gonna
not like
attract
the
it.
seal stuff. That's
Oh,
one
yeah.
thing. I'm always terrified because I live out by Huntington Beach, and so the thing with like the surfers is that they look like seals. So like the sharks will come and it's like, oh god, fuck this shit. Yes, I know I'm a halfling, everyone. I tease that I'm a mutant because I have all these like weird mutant birth defects.
Oh,
So we talk about those sometimes on. I do a show called The Jack Show, which is I guess a comedy show. It's more dark comedy and stuff like that. But so one of the things that we do on that is like find out my weird mutations that I don't think to tell unless we're doing one of the shows.
ooh.
I already showed the feet, guys. If you guys want to go back, you can see both mine and Chrissy's feet. Just scroll back through the stream. It's there. I'm probably gonna get demonetized, but it's fine.
From feet?
Yeah, you're not allowed to show feet on YouTube.
For real?
We didn't show our whole feet, so it might
No,
be okay.
nobody saw. I don't think my ankle was exposed or the
Yeah,
heel. Yeah.
you only saw like the top toes. Like, it's some weird rule that you're not allowed to show feet. I don't know if somebody's gonna monitor an hour into a
No.
live stream to try to find the feet thing, but I was like, it's one of those things like when you see a curler and it's like for external use only. It's like, who the fuck made that a rule that you need to have that label? It's like what did somebody do on YouTube to make no feet a rule, right?
Probably legit foot fetish videos. Yeah.
They have naked yoga. I don't know what more can you get with just a random foot. Anna just gained
Wow.
10,000 new subscribers. I doubt it. If that's all it took, I probably would have done a whole video just with feet puppets or something. Here
Why
you
do
go.
guys like feet? I don't understand. It's like it's the furthest body part from your vag,
I stopped asking why guys are into certain things. There's this one creep, and he went through I'm assuming it's a dude, went through every live stream and every video and took pictures of every time you could see my armpits and like sent it to me and like was just going on and on about how sexy my armpits are. And I was like,
There are armpit people. Yeah.
there are, which I'm like, I could never understand why that's a thing, but it is.
Right. It's not even a hole. It's more of a little cave.
It's a little
I don't know,
crevice that
Yeah.
somebody.
Do you want to put your penis in there? It's warm, I guess. It's moist.
Oh, thank you, Cecil. Hey, Brainiac, invite her on the Jack Show. Yes, Chris, if you ever would like to come on the show, the Jack Show,
Hmm.
make fun of serial killers that eat children, if you're interested.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, that was a long time ago. We haven't done that joke in a while, but we tease. Our mascot is Albert Fish, who was a guy who, what he did was he was a sailor and he stopped by China a couple times, and they would just, because they had so many orphans, they would just kidnap an orphan and then feed them to the sailors. And he got a taste for it. And so he would kidnap children and then cook them and write letters to their parents on how they tasted and like how he cooked them. So that was a joke that we had a long time ago, but it's dark humor. Cecil thinks he's funny, and I guess he is kind of funny, but you should actually have Cecil on your show. That would be interesting to see you and him joke off of one another. He's from New York.
What is
as well.
his deal? People are constantly mentioning him.
He is
What are
a
his
fat loser that
skills?
mooches off of everyone. That's Cecil's deal. He is a fat loser who got kicked out of his sister's house for drinking all of her alcohol, and he just mooches off of everyone. And he's just he's basically the village idiot. So you should have him on your show. It'll be a lot of fun.
Okay, sounds good.
But he's from New York too. But
do you always
thank you, Cecil, for the super chat.
Do you have all the same people on your Jack show?
So it's John, Anna, Cecil, Kelsey. So that's why it's called the Jack Show. So yeah, Cecil is a regular host.
Duh. Okay.
Yeah. Well, the chat actually named it the Jack Show for us because they realized, oh, it's, you know, all of your guys' first initials. And so we'll have guests on from time to time. We had this one guy who his name is Jay Hefner. And so he has a YouTube channel with him and his 4 sex dolls, or his companion dolls. I'll send you a link to it. But
Any
so we had
relation
him
to
on.
Hugh?
Huh?
Any relation to Hugh
he changed his
Hefner?
last name to Hefner. So he's like he wants to be the Hugh Hefner of sex dolls. So he wants to have like a mansion with all of his real dolls. So one of the first videos we watched was him and his mom, and him interviewing his mom about how she feels about his sex dolls.
Oh my God! Wow, that's nice that she's at least
you would like it. Also, our good friend Captain Chogat, who I'm not shunning. I saw your chat. He pops on from time to time, and he is British, so he's funny too. He's more very blunt and direct, which is a thing that we love about certain Brits. So you can, it's a fun show with a lot of interesting characters that come on from time to time. But you are more than welcome.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want to put her on the spot, Cecil. Gosh damn. But yeah.
Have you met all these people IRL that are on your Jack show?
I have met Cecil. So do you know who Drunk 3PO is?
Oh yeah, I have. I know the handle. Yeah.
Well, so he and I are really good friends, and then as much as I like to hate on Cecil, he and I are actually very good friends, and so we all went to Universal Studios together in Florida. So I've met Cecil in real life twice, and I haven't met John or Kelsey yet, but we're planning. You've had Ethan on your channel, so you know Ethan Van Sciver, right?
Oh yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, so he wants to do like a For the Fans Fest thing, but I don't know if we'll do something else where it's like we meet up at another con. But so I've met a few different YouTubers. So I've met a few at Star Wars Celebration, and then I got to go to Anime Matsuri and like do a panel with Nick Arcada, Cecil, and our friend Yellow Flash. So that was fun. So I've met a few people in real life. It's always bizarre because some of my friends like have alter egos online. So it's like when you meet them in person, it's like, you look different. I'm thinking of like an avatar, but you're a real
Anyone
person.
who was like better looking than you expected? Be like, this is my real face.
There was one girl that I met, and I thought that she was gonna be a dude because it was only on only an avatar that would interact in the chat that's like a mod, and I was actually surprised. I'm like, I know you. How do I know you? And she wouldn't tell me how I knew her. She's like, everyone knows who I am, but I'm in this like alter thing. So I still don't know who she is. It's just if I showed you a picture, you would know who she is. Like,
okay.
I don't know how, but she was older. So I think she must have been like famous in the 90s or something for something.
Ooh.
But she was like really, really pretty for how old, she's in, I think maybe late 40s, early 50s. But she looked like she was in her 30s. And I was like, I know who you are. but I don't know how. So that
That's
was
exciting.
someone that, like, not a famous YouTuber, but that was somebody that I was shocked by how, I don't know, how
That's good.
normal I guess they
Yeah.
looked. But Peaches is watching. I don't know if Peaches is watching. I think he's working right now. Peaches is my nickname for my boyfriend.
Aw.
Yeah, he's sweet and fuzzy. But yeah, I had something else I wanted to ask you, and now I'm forgetting.
Wait, something about, we talked about Wet Spot. We talked about my other podcast. We talked about stand up.
I guess, what do you prefer more? Do you like your podcast? Do you like stand up, or do you like doing like the Wet Spot?
Ooh, that's interesting. I like them all differently. It's like how do you pick a favorite child? I like, they all give me a rush in a different way. Like I think I beat myself up the most about stand up and my interview, because I always feel like with my interviews I could have researched somebody more. I could have like you're explaining that guy who researches for 2 months. I always wish that I had more time to like research people, because I always think I could be asking them more interesting questions, you know. But
yeah,
that's what's great about Twitter, is you can see like what's on someone's like top of mind, like what they're passionate about. So that's a good indication of like where to go. And then I'll beat myself up like with stand up too if I like forget a joke, or like I, you know, don't do as well as I think I should have. I'm always really hard on myself, like kind of no matter what. And then God, like I, you know, there's nothing like performing live. Like it's the best feeling. And you feel really, maybe stand up. God, I mean, it's like you have all this human connection, which now seems a little bit more rare, and people seem to need it a little bit more, you know, because people who've been stuck inside, or they're afraid, or it's always fun, like when there's a stand-up audience, you know, and I'm like, thank you all for like, you all risked your lives to be here, and then that gets a laugh. Yeah. God, that's really hard though, because then on the Wet Spot, like I'll get to see boobs from time to time, so that doesn't always happen.
Like real, like girls flash on your channel?
Girls will flash. Yeah. One time a girl like showed her puss, and I was like, who am I to say put it away, you know?
How do you even get to that? It's just like, here it is.
People ask. Like I usually have like some pervs that are like on the show as well, and they're like, oh, can we see? And like if it's part of their job and they're trying to like, you know, get fans, like some girls go for it, but some don't.
Oh my gosh.
The answer is I have pervy male comic friends.
Well, I saw you tweet this the other day, where it's like, this guy is not a co-host. I apologize for everyone that he was lying to. What was that about?
Oh my God. Okay, this was somebody that was, I first knew him because he was banned from Compound Media. Like I think he was an old time like Opie and Anthony fan from way back, so that's how he got to be a fan of like Compound Media. But you know, autistic, I guess. You wouldn't know that by meeting him. You'd just be like, oh, this guy like doesn't pick up on social cues, he's selfish, you know, like almost like a regular dude, you know. But over the last couple of years, like, you know, he'd be like a fan of stand-up and kind of like a fan of my show. And then I think I actually worked to get him unbanned, because I was like, oh, he seems harmless.
Little did
so I got him unbanned, and then he became like a super fan of my show, because I would have like porn star girls on, and he's one of these guys that would go to like, you know, every whatever porn festival, Exotica, AVN. He would buy the full pass, you know, the 3-day pass, and like go. These things like add up. It's like a lot of money. Like just obsessed with these girls, to the point where it's like, is this dude even really a fan of me, or is he just being nice to me because I, you know, give him proximity to porn stars? And there are a couple guys where I feel like that's the only reason they're really nice to me, is because like, oh, if they're nice to me and they ask to do my show and they pretend to be my, this is how cynical I am. I'm like, oh, they're pretending to be nice to me so they can be around porn stars. But like, I feel like that's a reality. So this guy,
people do that to me too. It's like they just want to use like, you know, a YouTube channel, or they want to meet some of the people that I know, and it's like, usually you can, like you're saying, like you're starting to feel that, you know, he's kind of fake. So it's like you get the sense of like somebody that's just trying to use you very quickly.
Yeah. And which is fine. I was like, okay. I was still being like, he's a fan. He's autistic, whatever. Like, okay. It's like, I'm trying to just be like nice. And this guy is like, people like either love him or hate him, like other fans of the show. People are like, why are you having this guy on? He's horrible. And like, you know, often, not all the time, he would call in and he would end up asking whatever guest I had, whatever female guest, like, do you squirt? Like, just he'd be very blunt and very like, oh God, that might be a question we wade into, but like, which is sometimes funny, like how blunt he would be.
Has he offended like any of your guests?
Almost all of them. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he's pretty offensive, but then we're like, oh, you, and then hang up on him. And he had come to a couple stand-up shows, and I was like, all right, maybe he's a fan of my stand-up too, I guess. I don't know. And one time I had him co-host the Wet Spot when I was away on vacation, because I'm like, this would be funny, like just to see. Like I kind of booked everything else, and I was like, let's see how this goes. Because I had him on a segment a while back. It's called like the King of Porn, and he just has an autistic knowledge for all things porn. You'd be like, who won this award in this year? And he would like know. So that was kind of a funny segment, and it was him versus this other autistic guy that also knew a lot about porn, and they were like battling it out. It was really close, and then he was sort of crowned King of Porn, which I think ultimately, looking back, inflated his ego. And then I had him guest host. All of this is fine, right? Until he starts his own podcast. And then now he's telling like professional contacts that I have like within the industry. So like adult industry girls and their publicists. He's telling all these people that he is from the Wet Spot, that he is with the show. And like, do you see how that's misleading? Like, yeah. And in his bio, he would say like, I'm from the Wet Spot or with, and it's like, that doesn't mean you are. I wouldn't even call him a regular. I would be like, he has appeared on, you know, like language is so important with this. And because
like
he would,
guest star.
And because he framed himself this way to these contacts, these PR people and girls felt like they had to say yes to do his podcast, like as a favor to me. Cause like, oh, here's this guy who's with Chrissy Mayer's show. And then ultimately he was being like very unprofessional and just like, not the way you ask for things. For
like a creep.
A creep and annoying and demanding and just like not humble and not realizing that you are brand new. You have no audience. Like you really need to like be patient and not make demands of people, you know, like really bad. And these people put up with this bad behavior because they think it's of a favor to me, you know, like, oh, well, this person's friends with or with Chrissy's show. And once I, oh my God, hello.
This is Tulip. This is my princess.
Oh my God. She's a little cutie. Oh my God.
She's my little Pekingese princess. Hi.
Oh my God. She looks like a stuffed animal.
She's my baby. You should have seen her when I first got her. She was like this big. And she was just a fluff.
Oh, does she like lick your face constantly?
That's all she does.
She has little
She's like she has to either be licking me or my boyfriend. Is she a baby? Hi.
Oh my God, you're so cute. How old is she?
She's gonna be 3 on November 30th.
Oh, she's a baby still.
She's still a little baby. Yeah, I think when she's 4, we're gonna have her have puppies. And I keep telling Peaches.
Oh my God!
I know. I keep telling Peaches like she's gonna have puppies, and we're gonna keep all of them. We're gonna have a whole pack. And he's like, no.
That's what I want. Oh.
I want a whole pack of my princess, and they're all gonna be named after flowers or food.
That is so cute. Oh my God! I can't wait till you have a dog farm.
I know, my baby. He's like, you have to have 1 acre of land for every dog we have, and I was like, all right. Start making more money so you can buy me a bigger house.
Oh my God, look at you.
My way to tease him if he tries to come up with something like that. I was like, just stop me. If you want more land for these animals, you better get some more because I'm going to have them whether you like it or not. I was like, you're just going to come home and they're just going to be here. I did that with the cats. I was like, he just came home and now we had 2 cats. And he's just like, you got 2 of them. And I was like, yes, I did.
Are you worried about some random dog banging your dog? You know, like if she's not spayed?
Tulip, I swear, she likes the ugliest boy dogs. She likes little boy poodles, but not the cute little boy poodles, the ugly ones. And
maybe she likes their personality.
No, she sees them and she freaks out. like it's like a little white boy poodle is like Fabio for her. And so when we take her to the beach, I'm like, I have to watch her. And I'm like, you stay away from my dog, you ugly little dog. Don't get my dog pregnant.
And they're like,
But
Yeah.
is your dog fixed?
there are actually 3 dogs in this house. One is 14 or 15. One is 3 and is spayed. And then the new one that you just saw, Waffles, is like, she's like 3 months old. So she's not yet.
No.
She's a baby.
See,
She's so
my
cute.
thing with her, I want her to have like at least, one litter. So that way, like, I have like something from her and then like, the next and the next. That's kind of how we did it. 'Cause I grew up on like a ranch. And so if like somebody in the family, like if my brother's dog had puppies, we would get one, or we always got 2. Because my mom's like, you can't just have 1 puppy, you have to have 2 puppies. Because what if you leave and the puppy's by itself? So one redeeming quality my mother had is she let us get 2 puppies or 2 kittens each time.
That's
so
cute.
it's
They
like-
need to have a friend.
They do, and Philip doesn't have a friend right now. So I'm like, babe, we need another puppy. And he's just like, no. But he
Aw,
wants,
I
like,
also have a
ugly-
tortoise. There's also a tortoise who we got over the pandemic for my boyfriend's son who's 10. So, but I mostly take care of it, like, because I'm home all the time now. So that's Iggy, who I have shown on previous podcasts. Like, he just looks dry all the time. He's a Herman tortoise. I think they live to be 60. Holy shit. I was like, I hope this
God.
kid is into turtles for the next 60 years because that's what's about to happen. Yeah.
Oh, hello, you're back now. What do you want?
I caught the turtle. I caught Iggy eating his own shit like it was yesterday. And I was like, oh no, stop. I'm yelling at him. Stop. What are you doing? Stop it. And then I look it up. I guess it's normal. But I was like, oh no. Like,
It's
and
not
he's
like
just little.
sick?
And I was like, what am I going to go in there and like take it out? I just sort of like watched him swallow it. And I was like, ugh, stop it.
Ugh, nasty.
Yeah. And it was hard too. It was like an old one.
Ew. Some of the weird things.
It was
animals
really
do,
gross. I was like, I guess he wanted to like relive that meal.
Ugh. No, I know, like, one of my old dogs used to do that. They used to eat each other's poop, and I was like, don't do that. That's disgusting. You have perfectly good food right there. Why would you go and eat shit? But I don't know. Animals are weird. They lick their own asses, so it's like, I don't know what to do with these animals. Don't do that. It's how dinosaurs went extinct. I don't think that they went extinct from eating shit. I think that there was a lot of other factors that came into play to them going extinct. I see people are screaming at me to read super chats. I'll read a few. So let me get into this. The alt Jesse Milestone, thank you for super chat. Chrissy, you seem like a good person. If you had a borderline, what did you ask, Russell Hall? If you had a borderline mentality, weedy deed friend with several facial deformity, dying of STDs, would you perform? Really?
I bet I know how
I'm not
goes.
reading this, and they're basically so here. I'm going to tell you this story. So my friend Cecil, they tried to say like, oh, would you suck this guy's dick to save Anna's life? And he said yes. And then they asked me, would you go down on Gates McFadden, who is a Star Trek character? Well, it's the actress that plays the Star Trek character, to save Cecil's life. And I said no, because Cecil has had a very long and fulfilling life. And I think it's better just to cut it out there. So what they're asking you is, would you go down on Gates McFadden to save basically your handicapped friend?
Wow. Would I go down on someone? Yeah. I mean, I've in the past gone down of tons of people I didn't even like for like nothing. To save someone's life, yeah, I would just like hope that person was like sort of as clean and disease free as possible. To save a life of a friend, yeah, I guess so. But I would like
So
really
you're a
not.
better person than me.
I would hope
'cause
to
I'm like,
not get. I would hope to not get anything from it. You know.
oh, you don't want to get like throat cancer like Michael Douglas from going down on Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Although, I mean, that's kind of nice. I mean, like, wow. That's how you know someone really likes you.
Sorry, Cecil. Chrissy will do it for you, I guess. Fatal J, thank you for the super chat that just says Fatal J. Well, thanks for stopping by, dude. Bullet Shepherd, thank you for super chat. Slave Suit Leia was from my fist, or Slave Suit Leia was my first boner. Oh, interesting.
Oh,
It definitely was
hello.
not mine, but I think the first time I was like, wow, I really like boys was when I watched The Mask of Zorro with Antonio Banderas, and he just got all like hot as Zorro, and I was like, hello. Oh no, Chrissy's frozen.
Wait, are you
I'll
frozen?
read the next one. You back?
I'm back.
You were
Are you
frozen.
back? Oh no.
Now your mic went out.
Oh no. Oh my god. What's happening?
You're like 10-second delay.
What the hell? All right. Just keep reading super chats. I'll just be still.
You're back. You're back. You're good. Okay.
Okay.
Stry Crex 24. Thank you for super chat. Hey girls, Anna, you are literally where I started with Captain Marvel, right into Friday Night Tights crew. Thank you so much for that. I don't understand what that means, but thank you for the super chat. Russell Hall, thank you for 2 super chats. My favorite color is orange, and I'm an Aquarius. I don't like fast food. Don't really fly by the seat of my pants, mainly because I'm not wearing pants. Russell Hall, you're a degenerate. Also, I think you're a Scorpio too, like me. So have you noticed? For me, Aquarius are the ones that I get along with the least. Like out of every other sign, it's like Aquarius and me just don't mesh. Do you have the same thing?
I have a brother-in-law who's an Aquarius, and he's not my favorite person. But I don't know if that's like an astrology thing or just the fact that he's a degenerate gambler.
Maybe
yeah,
both.
like there's things I see in him that are good that I'm like, okay, these are kind of redeeming qualities, but like, yeah, I just don't trust him. But then I have an Aquarius moon, I think. So, you know, it's inside, but part of me doesn't like myself either. So, yeah, I also have had a lot of flaky Aquarius like friends that have like sort of broken it off over the years. So I think I agree.
Yeah, my mom is an Aquarius, and it's like we just don't, even if we like agree on something, we don't get along about it. And I've noticed that with like every person that I'm like that with, I'm like, they're always Aquariuses, and I found my life is just better when I avoid them. Thank you,
avoid
Russell
them.
Hall. Thank you, Russell Hall. And then for the next one, which porn star looks the most like Henry Cavill? I don't know. Do you know?
Who?
Have you? You've interviewed more porn stars than me. I've never talked to one.
What porn star looks like Henry Cavill?
Yeah.
Let me Google him really quick. Henry. Who does he look like? Ooh. Oh, he's cute. James Dean, he looks like.
There's a porn star named James Dean?
Yes.
Oh. Let's Google.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna
if
come
you can
up.
I mean, you know, all the pictures that come up are gonna be nude, but he's dark. He's like dark hair, he's handsome.
Is he furry though?
Is he furry?
Yeah, because
he's
Henry's
porn,
got
so
like a
he's
lot of
shaving it.
Oh, this guy's kind of a twink though. Ah! Oh my god.
Whoops. Maybe
oh.
maybe he's twinky. He's too twinky.
Yeah, he's not muscly enough, but congratulations on the giant dick, dude. Now that's on my search history. Thanks for that, Russell Hall. Shane Russell, thank you for that. Anna, you are my Henry Cavill. Oh, thank you. I don't know if you know, I'm like a huge Henry Cavill fan.
Oh yeah, I'm aware. He's cute.
Yeah,
I get it.
I mean, it's Superman. Like, I don't understand why people wouldn't, you know, some people think that I'm crazy, but I'm like, he's just a celebrity that I think is extremely attractive. I don't know what the problem is. The dude played Superman. I don't see the
He
problem.
looks a little, God, he's not a porn star, but like Chris Pine, he reminds me of a little bit. Who does he look like?
Oh, from, you know what's
he
funny?
Looks a little like Channing Tatum. He looks like a lot of people.
I think it's like the handsome
I get
man
it.
look.
I totally get it.
Russell, they used to do that. Furthermore, could you please explain anal ring toss? All right, you want to explain it again?
Okay, well, you know, it's a family barbecue game. No, you just. I even said to her, I'm like, you don't have to put it in your butthole. You can just like hold it in your cheeks or like between your legs. She's like, oh no, Chrissy, I'm gonna do this all the way. And God, it might have been, and I was in Party City looking for a ring toss game, could not find one. And I was like, I have to improvise here. So I bought like, I think a flag, like a mini decorative, like lawn flag for St. Patrick's Day. And she used that. And then the rings, where did we get the rings from? They might have just been like glow in the dark rings. And then she just like bent over on this coffee table. She was like naked. We didn't ask her to be, but I guess she's thorough. And she just like bent over on all fours, like stuck it in her butthole. And then a couple of the guests were just like tossing the rings to seeing like if they could get it on the stick, which she was like, she didn't just leave it in her butthole. She was like holding it there. Yeah.
Wait, so she put the stick in her butt and people tossed rings at it?
Yeah. Tossed rings, like, you know, it was like
imagine
just like a flag staff, like a flag stick.
Okay, it's kind of like throwing horseshoes, but anal rings.
Kind of, yeah.
For the
Shoes.
audience members that want to see this, where can they watch that at?
Compoundmedia.com. I saw someone was asking if there was footage. Even if I were to clip that part, like, it would be censored probably everywhere. Well, maybe Twitter, I could get away with it, but compoundmedia.com for sure. And that it was the episode with Peyton Sinclair. I forget, probably from the summer.
So does that show, does that premiere on YouTube, or is it only on Compound Media website?
It's only Compound Media, but occasionally, Compound Media does have a YouTube channel, so occasionally they will throw up episodes from, you know, a variety of any of the shows on that channel.
Interesting. So there you guys go. You guys can, Russell, you can go and watch that and see the demonstration if you want to, and I guess learn something before you do that at parties of your own. Sheen Russell, thank you for that. Chrissy, I saw you in New Orleans.
Oh shit! What's their name?
Sean Russell or Sheen. I'm sure how to pronounce these.
I met almost everybody who came to those shows. It was so much fun. It was like the last weekend of freedom before they started doing the mandates down in New Orleans. So it was last weekend, so it was great. The people that came out were like excited to be there. Yeah, it was really fun.
I'm excited for you to come here.
Yeah, where's here? You said California, right?
Yeah, well, you said you're performing in Santa Monica, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's in October.
Okay. Birth month.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down in Orange County, so Santa Monica is like an hour, depending on if there's traffic, an hour, 45 minutes north of me, which is fine. Santa Monica's nice, though. Yeah. I'll come and we can go out after.
Yes! IRL.
Heck yeah. Russell, thank you for the super chat. Anna, trial by fire. Let's hear a joke. Knock knock.
This is the joke that I always tell people when they're like, give me a joke. And I think it's a street joke because I know I got it from somewhere. Okay, so if mothers have mothers and if mothers have fathers, if mothers have Mother's Day and fathers have Father's Day, what do single guys have?
Friday nights?
Palm Sunday.
Is Palm...
It's like a jerking off joke.
I'm trying to think if there's a holiday that has to do with that. It's okay.
Palm Sunday it's a Christian holiday. It's like before Easter.
I know the
like
Hallmark
Palm,
holidays.
Okay.
That one.
Some people in the chat are getting it. That's all that matters.
I know like blonde jokes because my mother had bleached blonde hair, looks like Elsa from Frozen, and so like my whole life I heard blonde jokes. So it's like those are the ones that I know. So it's like, how do you kill a blonde?
Something about putting something underwater.
Yes, a scratch and sniff at the bottom of the pool.
There you go.
Yeah, so I knew a lot more jokes when I was a kid, but I feel like some of the jokes I couldn't even tell now because they're like kind of racist.
Dude, those are the best ones.
They are the best ones, but I would definitely not say it on YouTube. I would get canceled even more than I already have been. Let's see. John Branson, they used to be at two of my faves together. Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. That was very nice. Yeah, you interviewed me and then weren't we on another show or something together? I know we met on the
Maybe.
quartering show, and then we were on.
Yes, I got so
your
drunk off
show.
Truly's. Yeah,
Oh, you were drunk?
kind of. Yeah, it was like I didn't know how long of a stream it was going to be, so I just like kept having Truly's, and then I was
Oh.
like, people are laughing. I guess it's going well. And then I was like, wow, I was really drunk.
Did you see the guy that like clipped us and made fun of us on his show?
No.
Yeah, he was like
Uh-oh.
commenting how like half the guys were bald, and then he's like, then me and Gary were right next to each other, and of course we're surrounded by toys. So he's like, look at these losers with all their like action figures.
Oh wow! I hope that made him feel like a big man. I hope that made him feel really cool.
I'll send you the clip. You could probably use it in something because it was like, you know, me, Lauren Chin, and you. I think like he had us all lined
wow.
up, so you could tell that he was about to make a comment about like how, you know, man babies or no women, and then he saw like the whole row of chicks, so he had to switch whatever he was gonna say. But I was like, that's how we met, and then we were on your channel and you interviewed me, but I feel like we were on another show, but it's not ringing a bell. I just feel
Was
like we
it
were.
Friday Night Tights or Jeremy's or like the quartering or Yellow Flash or Midnight's
Yellow
Edge?
Flash, that's where
Okay.
it was. Yes, that's where
Cool,
it
cool.
was. I was blanking. Russell Hall, thank you for 3 super chats in a row. DP is Dr. Pepper. I hate Dr. Pepper.
Wow.
Airtight is an unopened Dr. Pepper. Russell Hall, you degenerate. Anna, I don't think a guy who's eager to show off a tape of him getting railed by a tranny to a room full of his girlfriends would be having many kids. So this was a guy, I do know he wants kids, but it wasn't, I think I was maybe one of the 2 girls in the room. So, yeah. Shark Dentures, thank you for the super chat. Lottery winners and OF girls don't know how to invest. Well, I mean, if they were smart enough, they probably would. I mean, you have to have some level of intelligence to be smart enough to be making that much money a month, because it's like you see so many girls trying to, but only a few are the ones that actually are. So, I mean, you never know. Weebadoo Desu, thank you for super chat. More feet. LOL, just kidding. Maybe not right now. Maybe later.
Don't push it.
Russell, thank you for the super chat. Blame Hunter Biden for the YouTube foot roll. Oh God, was it him? Cecil, thank you for 3 super chats in a row. Hey, Brainiac, invite her on the Jack Show. Yes, Chrissy, you are more than welcome to come on the Jack Show. If
It
you
is
would
written.
like.
It will happen.
Okay. It's on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Ooh, okay.
No, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then
Okay,
whatever
it
time
have to
that is.
be after I get back from Texas. So maybe the 23rd or the 30th, but we can figure it out later.
Sounds good. Let's see. Cecil, thank you, Super Chat. Thanks for the kind words. Sheesh. Hey, I was actually nicer than I usually am, but let me tell you, Chrissy, if you get Cecil on your show to interview him, you will have a good time. I promise.
Oh, that's a hard sell.
and you'll have a very large audience because. So Cecil is like the village idiot that everybody loves to watch. 'Cause it's just, you know, like when you're driving on the freeway and there's a car crash. It's like you're watching Cecil, and like no, you can't look away from it.
Is it like the kind of like where you're in so much traffic and you're like, not only do I hope there's a car crash, I hope to see dead bodies because you're that upset with traffic. Okay.
Yes, and then you drive by and you're laughing your ass off because it's Cecil.
Oh. But he's alive.
Not dead.
Right.
I think you.
Okay.
I'm failing here. I'm failing here because you're actually funny and I'm not. So my jokes are falling.
Oh.
All
right.
Cecil, last one. Let her go, Anna. Unlike you, she has a life. Hey, we talked about this. Don't worry.
I knew this was going to be 2 hours.
There you go. Mandatory Carrie, thank you for the super chat. # keep fighting. And always remember, there are 4 lights. There are. Are you a Star Trek fan?
No. I watched Battlestar Galactica with an X way back when, but that's probably the closest.
The original one or the remake?
I think it was the remake. The one with Six, like the hot blonde chick. And yeah, I think it was the remake.
Let's see. Russell, I think we should be back. Can you show Poos on YouTube? If you were doing naked yoga, apparently you can. But we're not going to see that on this channel. Sorry. Anthony, thank you for super chat. I really appreciate both of you girls from Denmark. Keep doing what you do. Oh, thank you. Russell Hall, thank you for the super chat. Squirt is pee. I'm sorry, Russell Hall, but it's not.
This is a really hot topic. This is squirt pee.
It's not. Okay, so when you get excited, as a lady, when you get excited, it gets moist down there. Is that stuff pee? No, it's not. So the other stuff is not.
I've heard that there are elements, pee elements in there, like your trace amounts of urea.
Well, I mean, that kind of happens when it's all in your business.
Yeah, it's
And-
down there.
Yeah, it's like, when it's the boys' stuff. It's like, well, I mean, that's where pee comes out of. So I'm sure that there's trace elements of that there.
True.
But no, the stuff that comes out, it's not that. It's the stuff that moistens everything. I don't know why this is such a hot debate, but I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot. People get really fired up. People think it's all pee. I think because some girls have peed and said they were squirting. Or maybe guys have just, there are some upset guys out there who've drank some pee in their life and they're just upset.
Spike, that talking about this doesn't makes me super uncomfortable. I started talking about that right as Peaches walked in to see if Tulip was still.
Peaches, you want to squirt?
Well, he's not in here anymore.
Peaches?
He had no context to that conversation. He had just walked in and looked at me. Yeah, so that was that's what embarrassed me.
Peaches, we got some peach juice for you.
Oh my gosh. But so yeah, no, it's not pee. Anyways, I'm sure that there's plenty of girls that do pee because they want to pretend like they're squirters. Like I remember I had a roommate that she would do that because she wanted the esteem of being a squirter. And so she's like, oh yeah, he thinks I'm a squirter, but I just peed on him. I'm like, you do realize that he's going to be able to smell that? Like, you're a vegetarian. Yeah. That shit stinks.
Make sure you're really well hydrated if you're going to do that plan. I also know many girls in porn, a tactic for squirting scenes is really just to, like, fill yourself up with, like, whatever water they have or whatever liquid. Like, they'll straight up, like, lean back, squirt something in, and they'll be like, roll, and then they'll let it rip. Yeah, a lot of tricks of the trade.
I mean, I don't know. I've never searched that out. I feel like anytime I watched porn, it was like to learn something. So it's like, I feel like squirting is something that you either can do or you can't, you know? And so,
yeah.
What the hell is he doing? Can you hear that?
Just sounds like banging.
Yeah,
like
I don't
clanging.
know what the hell he's doing. He always waits to do projects when I'm live streaming, but
Aw.
Yeah, but I just remember my my old roommate, like she just said that, and I was like, that's why you give certain girls like a bad name, because you're doing that, which is like I'm sure that there's some people that are into getting peed on. Like, did you ever watch Sex in the City?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Like the episode where the politician guy tells her, he's like, I want you to pee on me, and she's like,
yeah.
No. And then he's like, oh, yeah, I can't date you anymore because I'm a politician and I can't be dating somebody that writes a sex column. And she's like, well, motherfucker, now everyone's going to know that you're into getting pissed on. So fuck you.
So there.
I
miss Sex in the City. Like those are like some good years. I don't know. It was fun.
I was watching them when I was way too young to be watching them, but my mom liked them. So I heard
I would watch them with my sister.
Okay. Did you like Big or Aiden?
Oh, okay. Aiden. Yeah. Aiden is like more the kind of guy that I would fall for.
Oh, he's like more manly, and like Big is like, he's the rich guy, you know?
Yeah.
He doesn't get his hands dirty, but it's like.
Yeah. And that's Big would never be into me. So I'm almost like pre-rejecting him. Yeah.
You know what it is with me? It's the guys that I like, that I think I would be into. When it comes down to like the reality of it, it'd always be the opposite. So it's like when I watch movies, I'm like, oh yeah, I like the bad boy, but in real life, I don't, you know, I never go for the bad boy because I'm like, no, you're breaking the rules, you know?
Aww.
So I don't know. When I watched that, I liked Aiden, and even in the movie, it's like, she's like basically married to Big, and she's like running into Aiden, and she's still into him. I'm like, girl, what are you doing? Trying to have your cake and eat it too. But
that's a real thing that happens. That's like, you know, you could be fully with somebody and you're like, oh shit, this person also is really attractive to me. So that's normal.
It is, but she broke his heart. I'm like, Carrie, just pick one.
Yeah,
You're making me
that's true.
angry.
She flip flopped. I feel like she should have ended up with Aiden. He was like a good, solid dude. Good with his hands. Could put stuff together. But then Big
would've
bought her that
worked, but I
huge ass closet. So
dude with sexy, manly man or money in closet. She picked money in closet, which is why she always wants Aiden.
Mm-hmm.
But
right, because
I'm
deep
kind
down,
of like upset about them bringing it back without Samantha. I'm like, how are you going to do this without Samantha?
oh my God, she was the best one.
I know. It is what it is, though. All right,
Yeah.
let me read some
My
more
dad
super
worked
chats.
on the first season. He was a Teamster, and so he had a
Oh, that's
picture of her.
awesome.
He had a picture of her and Sarah Jessica Parker, and I think he put it like over or on top of a picture of him and my mom. I was like, that's great.
Aw. Well, I mean, celebrity. He probably has a ton of pictures with your mom. Probably not that many with Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's see. Trex32 thing. Chrissy, has anyone in a comedy world been more banned and canceled than Owen Benjamin?
Maybe. I've never like seen any of his stand-up. Like I know the name. I just like don't know that much about him. Yeah, but he seems pretty canceled.
I have no idea who he is.
Yeah, like Gavin McGinnis is a very funny person who was canceled, but he never did stand-up. Same thing with Anthony Cumia, very funny person, canceled, completely made his own way, built his own empire, and is thriving.
Have you been canceled from any like stand-up places?
Maybe many small cancellations, but same thing. Like found my own way, kind of like went around it. Like I think I avoided the bottleneck of comics that are just kind of waiting for like a Comedy Central special or a late night spot or like an HBO special, and I just kind of like went around it, and I was like, I'm gonna start a podcast. I guess I'm just gonna like build my own fan base and then tour the country that way.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, there's many different paths.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I like about like YouTube is you build your own platform, and so it's almost like you don't really need like a marketing team or like for me, example, I want to do like a gallery show and I don't have to rely on the gallery to do marketing for me. I'll just rent out the space and then I just put an announcement out on Twitter and I'm like, this is where I'll be. If you guys want to show up, you can show up kind of thing. And
That's
so
cool.
with you, well, probably you have the same thing. You're just like, hey guys, I'm going to be in this city on Twitter or on YouTube. And then have you gotten a lot of people that are like, hey, I saw you on YouTube?
Yeah, not only from YouTube, from my channel, but from other people's channels. Like it's very like heartwarming. Like I was doing shows in Bridgeport, Connecticut. I had a couple guys show up that were like, "Oh, we heard you from Friday Night Tights," and then they're at a stand-up show and they like bring their wife or their
that's awesome.
friend or whatever. I'm like, oh, it's fucking cool to meet people. It's like really, I don't know, rewarding.
Yeah, I was shocked the first time when I was at Star Wars Celebration and people would come up to me like, are you that Star Wars girl? I was like, they only recognized me because I was standing next to my friends who were very recognizable, because I don't think people really realize how small I am in person, because I warn everyone, like, I'm very small and I look like a generic girl. So it's like I don't have any, because it's like I feel like people, they recognize my friend Jesse and they recognize my friend Jeremy, or like they would recognize my other friends at this last anime like convention, they recognize Nick. But because I look so generic, nobody really recognizes me. And then once they realize that, they're like, oh, are you that Star Wars girl? I'm like, yes. And they're like, you are small. And I'm like, yes, I am.
Thank you. Like, thank you so much. Yeah.
Yes, I know I'm little. I'm like the little child next to all the grown-ups.
Aww.
But it is. It's cool. I'm excited to meet you in person, too.
Oh my God, me too. I'm like nervous. I have to plan my outfit now.
Gotcha. I'm almost done reading super chats and then we'll end it.
Okay.
We're almost done. Russell, thank you for 2 super chats in a row. What separates ugly poodle from a cute one? When they have like the stains in their eyes and they're not clean and they're ugly. Forking, finally. There you see, Anna. That's a friend. How hard was that? Seriously. 1 lick, Anna. No, I said no. I'm never. Women and their bodies have no attraction to me, and unless you want vomit, don't put that stuff in my face.
Are you
Like
saying you
men.
won't go down on a woman? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, that was the whole thing, was like,
Okay.
would I go down on Gates McFadden to save Cecil? And I said no. He's lived a long life. Dr. Coffinails, thank you for super chat. I can bring over Buster, my Beagle mix, Anna. Lady dogs find him quite irresistible. Well, you can try with Tulip. We'll see. Russell, thank you for super chat. Who won the ring toss? Was there a prize?
The prize was the game, to be honest. It's like, the prize was in the journey. I forget who won. I really forget who won.
It's okay.
Yeah. But someone did
go
win.
watch and find out, Russell Hall.
Yeah.
Sir Radernolin Junkie, sorry for butchering your name. Here's $5 for a clue. He's being a guy. Autism isn't making him a Eunice. All right. Stray Crex 24, thank you for super chat. Chrissy, do you take it personal what Hollywood is doing to redheads?
I mean, gingers were kind of like, we've always been kind of an endangered species. Not having a soul, that doesn't help either. No, I dye my hair. I'm like a dark blonde naturally. Normally, if I didn't have anything in my eyebrows, I'd be like, it's the color of my eyebrows, but I have a little bit of pencil on.
Oh, there you go.
I'm like a dark blonde. This is pretty close to my natural color, actually. It's just a little bit more strawberry.
I did a burgundy, and then I went through every shade of red in college, and it fried my hair. J-Lord, thank you for the super chat. The way to save Star Wars and Marvel is to start a company together, then start buying shares in Disney, then as their boss, say no more agendas and good storytelling. No, the best way to defeat them is put them out of business, in my opinion. And you don't have to build a company to buy out another company. You can invest your money in good stuff. Crazy Cat Guy, thank you for the super sticker. Cecil, thank you for the super sticker or super chat. Doesn't understand time zones, calls me an idiot. I got my time zones mixed up. Russell, thank you for super chat. Two super chats in a row. Chrissy might better understand than Cecil phenomenon if you'd show her the clip of him falling out of his chair in the birthing position. I'll send her the clip because I know she has to go. So I'm trying to read these super chats and then we can end the show.
I wanted to show Muffin.
Russell, thank you for super chat.
Come here, Muffin.
Go ahead. Anna, if it shoots out of your urethra, it's pee. That's not where,
Muffin.
You know what? We're not even going to have this conversation. It's not urine. Patrick T, thank you for the super sticker. It's a peach. Black Multicam, thank you for super chat. Face Palm Sunday. Damajanai, thank you for super chat. Hello, my friend. Hope you are well. Hi, Chrissy. Smiley eye face. Chrissy's trying to get her dog, but I'm sure she'll say hi to you in a moment. Russell Hall, thank you for super chat. I'd blow Will Wheaton to save Chrissy's life. Well, I'm sure she would appreciate that, Cecil. Russell Hall, thank you for the super chat. Would you do it to keep Cecil away from Peaches? I don't need to do that to keep Cecil away from Peaches. Phil JY, thank you for the super sticker, and it's a smiling heart eye face. Well, thank you for that. We are all done with super chats. So, Chrissy, where can everyone find you?
Yes. And it's not because I want to go. It's because I have another interview
She does.
in a couple minutes. I would normally stay all night. We could do this sleepover style. Yeah, follow me on Twitter at Chrissy Mayer. On Instagram, I'm Chrissy Mayer Pod. That's ChrissieMayr. And I'm not on. I am on TikTok, but I'm not active on there. I don't know.
I put all of her links in the description. I've been on
YouTube.
Chrissy's channel. You guys can see me and her there. She's been on a couple other shows as well.
Yeah,
all of them are on your website, right?
Yeah. And then Chrissy Mayer Podcast is on YouTube. And then for audio only, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, 4 new episodes a week. The Wet Spies on Compound Media Mondays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And then I also do an exclusive podcast episode for Rockfin, which is usually where I go and talk about a lot of conspiracy theories and topics that you would get banned for talking about on YouTube. So that's nice to have. And check out my stand-up dates. I'll be in Vegas this weekend and then Hyenas in Dallas next weekend. And then for more dates, just check out my website, ChrissyMayer.com. I think that's it.
All right. Well, and then that other show that we were talking about doing, do you want to talk about that or?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. September 20th. We're going to do a super... Come here, Muffin. I got you.
As she gets her babies.
I got you. Ah, she's such a good girl. She loves it. She loves your podcast. We're doing she hates me. She hates me so much right now.
As the dog goes crazy.
Okay, no, there you go. We're doing like a all girl
No.
thing. That's good. Like an all girl
I feel like I need to get my dog.
podcast.
We can get both of our doggies.
We're like
You
girl,
do.
girl.
Tulip just woke.
Who
Tulip's
needs a
sleeping.
man? She gets her tongue in my mouth. It's gonna be me,
Tulip's sleeping. She's
Anna.
like,
It's gonna be X-Ray Girl, and I'm working on a couple others, but it's gonna be like a massive girls of the fandom, super duper collab, and that's gonna be on September 20th at 10:30 Eastern.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, so and that's gonna be over on Chrissy's channel. So make sure that you guys are all subscribed over to Chrissy's channel. She's done a lot of interviews with people that I think generally my audience knows. Like you've done one with me, you've done one with Nerdrotic, you've done one with Ethan. You should have Cecil on. That if you do that, your chat is gonna be blown up. Oh, Az, you've had Az on too?
I've had Az on. I'm working on getting Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. And yeah, I've had Jeremy from the Quartering on. Yeah, you. I've had Gary from Nerdrotic. So yeah, I'm trying to get around to like just about everybody. And yeah, political people, porn star people, comedian people, all types of people.
Yeah, so go check it out. There's a lot of everything over on Chrissy's channel, so it's a lot of fun. So make sure you're subscribed. Let me read this last super chat. J Lord, thank you for the super chat for female exile at Narandra the Disciple. I don't know. I would probably say Atten because I haven't spent that much time with the Disciple guy, but Tugs had the guy on that was the voice actor of him, so I was like, yo, that guy was the voice actor of my favorite Star Wars game. Can you like get me in touch with him so I can nerd out about Star Wars? He was also in Pirates of the Caribbean, so I'm like, can you like hook this up so we can talk? So that might happen. But anyways, everyone, Chrissy does have another engagement that she has to go to. So
I don't want to go.
I know, we're going to call it a day, but everyone make sure that you go and subscribe over to Chrissy. Make sure you follow her on Twitter. Go follow her on Instagram as well. And everyone, until next time, I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. May the force be with you because we are really, really, really going to need it. Bye,
and also
everyone.
with you.
And Chrissy, thank you so much.